Hey everyone, today's lesson is going to be converting fractions to decimals, and there are two ways to do it, and there's an easy way, and I recommend to try to use this way first, and then there's a hard way. And the hard's really not that hard, but it's time consuming, and you're able to have more mistakes that way. So if you can, please try to do the easy way. When you're like, well, Ms. Keeban, you have easy and hard. Well, what is it? Well, thanks for asking. The easy way is going to be making equivalent fractions. Okay, equivalent fractions. And so with that being said, when you have decimals, the place value chart that we know has bases of 10, 100, 1,000, and so forth. So your denominator must be a 10, 100, or 1,000. For instance, if we have a fraction of 3/8, I ask myself, can 8 go into 10 evenly? No, not at all. Can 8 go into 100 evenly? Nope. Can 8 go into 1,000 evenly? Yes, it can. And that is a multiplication fact I recommend that you memorize, is that 8 times 125 gives you 1,000. And so whatever you do in the denominator, you must do in the numerator. So 3 times 125 gives me 375. So in this case, my decimal is going to be 0 and 375 thousandths. Okay, and that is the easy way, is just make it equivalent fractions. And the reason why I recommend you try to do that way first is because you use equivalent fractions when you are adding and subtracting fractions, when you are comparing and ordering fractions. You use equivalent fractions with almost everything in math. So I recommend you use the easy way first. But there's some fractions you cannot do the easy way, and I completely understand. And so that's where we do what I like to say is long division. Okay, and this is where you tend to have a lot of mistakes. Now, long division, you have a fraction, and a fraction has a part of a numerator, and a denominator. When you set up a division problem, your dividend is going to be your numerator. Your divisor is going to be your denominator. And this is where the reason why I said you're going to end up making mistakes is because when you have a fraction like 3/7, your brain may want you to put 7 in the dividend instead of 3. And that's fine. I mean, that's what everybody does, and I don't want you making that mistake. But you have to remember, you have to know that no matter what, the numerator will always be in the dividend, and the denominator will always be in the divisor. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Okay, so I like to draw a little cloud to help me remember every time I have to do this. And that's where I just put an N and a D, and it just helps me keep it in that track. So let me choose a fraction. 3/7. I mentioned 3/7 earlier. So let me do 3/7. Well, you set up your division problem, and I place my numerator in my dividend, and I place my divisor in my denominator in my divisor. Now you ask yourself, well, 7 can't go to 3. So what I have to do is I must make a decimal. And I always say add 2 zeros, make it look like money. Okay? Sometimes you can add a third zero. And so, but majority of the time, 2 zeros is fine. Okay, so that's going to be make it look like money. I'm going to bring my decimal up. And now I just divide. 7 goes into 3 0 times. 0 times 7 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. I bring down my next 0. 7 times 4 gives me 28. And I subtract. Okay, this becomes a 2, a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Bring down my 0. Okay. 7 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. You subtract and you get 6 left over. Now, I'm going to stop there. It's going to have me keep going. So my final answer is going to be my quotient. 0 and 42 hundredths is what 3/7 is equal to. And that is how you convert a fraction to a decimal.